Welcome everyone. In this video, we're going to go over a new feature in Amazon GuardDuty called GuardDuty Extended Threat Detection. This new feature uses AI and ML to help you understand attack sequences spanning across multiple resources, data sources, time periods, and helps you identify the highest priority threats in your cloud environment. The extended threat detection capability works even if you enable Amazon GuardDuty Foundational Threat Detection with no additional protection plans. However, you will get higher security value when you enable GuardDuty dedicated protection plans. This will help GuardDuty correlate more diverse signals across multiple data sources. To get started, if you're not familiar, GuardDuty is a security monitoring service that analyzes and processes foundational data sources such as AWS CloudTrail management events, VPC flow logs from Amazon EC2 instances, and DNS logs. It also processes Kubernetes audit logs, RDS login activity, S3 data events, EBS volumes, runtime monitoring, and Lambda network activity logs. It uses threat intelligence such as lists of malicious IP addresses and domains, and machine learning to identify unexpected, potentially unauthorized, and malicious activity within your AWS environment. GuardDuty then provides you with actual findings so you can remediate this activity. GuardDuty Extended Threat Detection correlates multiple signals over time to present a holistic view of potential security threats. This feature introduces two new finding types, one for data compromise and another for credential compromise. What sets extended threat detection apart is its ability to 1. Rapidly identify complex attack sequences spanning multiple resources, data sources, and time periods. 2. It automatically correlates disparate signals to provide high confidence insights into potentially compromised resources. 3. To reduce the time and effort required for security teams to triage events. Importantly, the attack sequence findings are classified as critical severity, indicating high confidence threats that require immediate attention. This prioritization helps security teams focus on the most urgent issues first. Additionally, extended threat detection delivers MITRE attack mappings for each finding. These mappings provide a standardized framework for understanding the tactics and techniques used in the attack sequence, enabling more comprehensive threat analysis. To further assist security teams, this feature also provides prescriptive remediation recommendations based on AWS best practices. This guidance helps streamline the response process and ensures that teams are following industry-leading security protocols. Now that we have an understanding of this feature, let's jump into the console and look at one of these new findings and dig into the details. Now we're in the GuardDuty console. You can see that I've navigated to findings in the left navigation pane, and I've already filtered by threat type, attack sequence findings only. We can look at all findings, or we can specify we only want to look at attack sequence findings only. You can see that we have a finding for a potential data compromise of one or more S3 buckets involving a sequence of actions over multiple signals associated with a user in your account. The severity is critical. Like we said, these attack sequence finding severities are critical. There's 3 resources involved and 4 signals, which we'll dive into in a moment. If we click on this, if we're familiar with GuardDuty, you know that we can get overview information on the right side of the screen, such as the details associated with a finding or this attack sequence finding, the actors involved, and some of the other details associated with the finding. For this, we're going to go ahead and click on View Details and dive in to the details. So if we look first, we can see that the overview information has a lot more detail, and that it's telling us that there are 4 signals indicating a possible data compromise of one or more S3 buckets. We could see the assumed role that this was part of and the principal ID. We can see the time frame that this activity occurred. We know it's telling us that there are 4 MITRE attack tactics observed: exfiltration, impact, discovery, and initial access. We can see that there were techniques such as cloud service discovery and data manipulation. We also see that this activity happened from a user agent that was associated with a Kali Linux user agent, and there were multiple sensitive API calls. We can see some of the resource information here, such as finding ID and the type, region, account that this happened. We can see the attack sequence information according to MITRE tactics overall for the whole attack sequence finding, such as discovery, initial access, exfiltration, and impact. If we jump over to the right side of the screen, we can see that there are the 4 signals listed below here. We can see the time frames at which they happened, the signal types. So we have IM users, malicious IP callers. The API object was invoked from an IP address on a custom threat intel list. And we can see there's another one for pin test S3 Kali Linux. So some of this information some of this activity coming from Kali Linux. For each of these, we can see the tactics associated with them, such as initial access and discovery. We can see indicator information, such as discovery, initial access. We can see attack actor details and endpoint information, such as the IP address associated with this activity. If we scroll up to the top and click on this other tab, we can see the resources associated with this attack sequence finding, such as the access key, the S3 bucket, and the EC2 instance associated with this security issue. Ultimately, this attack sequence finding is gathering a number of information from signals and resources and mapping this to a MITRE tactics and techniques so that incident responders can understand the full breadth of a security issue and ultimately respond more efficiently and more effectively to an overall security issue instead of a finding by finding basis. In this video, we went over a new feature in GuardDuty that helps you understand attack sequences spanning across multiple resources, data sources, time periods. It helps you identify the highest priority threats in your cloud environments. If you want to learn more, please refer to the documentation in the description below or visit aws.amazon.com/GuardDuty.